Adrian, and welcome back to my channel. And yes, this is going to be a pretty interesting day, I think. We will have a complete analysis of the weekly candle close that we just had this morning. A lot of action happened this morning when the CME trading started. If you were awake this morning, you saw that price did quite a substantial move, and we can now sort of confirm that we have some sort of like short-term and macro-term movement, and most likely this week we will have something very, very big. But before we get into that, let's check it out. What is going on with our COVID virus in the rest of the world? So let's check our chart. Let's refresh what our numbers are. Woo. Here we are. So the US is currently at 759,000, and Spain is over 200,000 right now. Italy is trailing behind for 178,000. Let's take a look at our chart. Oops, that's the wrong chart. Coronavirus chart. Yes. And click. Let's refresh. So we are over 2.4 million confirmed cases, but as you can see right now, once again we are seeing a flattening of the curve of the overall worldwide trend. Let's take a look at some countries. Spain is starting to buckle down a little bit more now. As you can see, it's starting to flatten out. US is still going up, Italy is still going up, France still going up, Germany is flattening. UK is still going up. So yeah, those are the most important things. But overall, the rest of the world, yeah, we are starting to see some flattening. Let's hope we can see some, going down and slope down on our chart very, very soon. But for now, over 2.4 million infected, cases infected, confirmed. Good thing that's over 600,000 people recovered, which means a very, very high 25% already. 165,000 people died, so yeah, approximately like 6% ish, right? Okay, I think that covers our coronavirus. So maybe before we go into Bitcoin and everything, let's go on an overview what the I can't get to my word what the consequences are from this COVID virus and over the rest of the world. So let's start with North America. North America, the biggest news for today in North America is that the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, has begun to forgive large amount of foreign debt. So as you can see here, 25 of the poorest countries are seeing forgiven by their lenders. So basically, IMF is saying, okay, look guys, this coronavirus is hitting you guys so hard. Everybody, as you can see, nearly all, maybe I can put the font a little bit bigger. Yeah. There. They are saying, nearly all in Africa, as you can see, all in Africa, but also Afghanistan, Yemen, Nepal, Haiti, together with the World Bank, they have called for the rich nations to stop collecting debt from poor countries from May 1 to June 2021. So meaning, a year, for 1 year, the debts from those poor countries towards the rich countries don't have to be paid anymore. So I think that's that's a substantial amount of money to help them basically to get some relief. And also last week the World Bank said it would roll out 60 billion emergency aid over 15 months to help countries stricken by the virus. So also including 14 billion in debt repayments from 76 poor countries to other governments. So yeah, as you can see in North America, that's the biggest news right now. They are trying to stop the debt, collecting debt for poor countries. But also when you stop collecting debt from one country, obviously that also means for your country that you will have less revenues. I mean, the money has to come from somewhere, right? Okay, then let's go on to, after North America, let's go on to South America. So in South America, the biggest news is actually in Ecuador. In Ecuador, they are going to sell a third of its Amazon rainforest to Chinese oil companies. That's really a really crazy news, right? Because Ecuador currently owes China $7 billion in loans, $7 billion in loan. So that's, of course, for such a small country, a very big deal. There's their gross domestic product is not that oh, here, look, the gross domestic product is it's 1/10 of their gross domestic product. So 10% of the whole country's revenues is actually owed towards China. So what they are willing to do is basically to sell a third of its Amazon forest to Chinese oil companies. And these oil companies, most likely, yeah, what are they going to do with it? Yeah, they're probably going to be exploiting it and damaging it and polluting the area. I mean, I guess that's what oil companies are doing. So yeah, that's a very big yeah, that's a very big consequence of what Ecuador is doing over there, right? Okay, let's move on. So we have North America, South America, and then the biggest news in Europe. In the European Union, as you can see here, the auto sales has plummeted more than 50% in March. So yeah, of course, because of the coronavirus, yeah, a lot of sales are hitting the low, right? I mean, people are in lockdown, nobody's going anywhere. Why would you be needing a car except except for going to do groceries or something like that? I mean, very little need for cars. So over 50% over the last month, so sales of cars and trucks have been diminished, and that's a sick amount of cars. That means that if the for the next couple of like the next trimester, by the end of the year, if things don't recover, the car industry will have a big problem on their hands as well, right? And definitely if this coronavirus, if we get like a second wave or something like that, yeah, things are going to be even worse by the end of the year for the car industry in Europe. Okay, after Europe, of course, we have Africa. So in Africa, this is the biggest news in Africa. In Africa, we have the South African Airways that fired all their employees. So after 86 years, the South African Airways has made the decision to fire 4,700 people, right? Can you imagine? 4,700 employees were all fired because, yeah, basically there's nobody flying anymore, right? There's a lack of travelers. Everything is locked down. There's no tourism. There's nothing. And South African Airways is a state-owned company. So, yeah. It actually, but the thing is, it has been struggling for a long time already. So it's not like, you know, it has been very good, but you know, this is the worst that can happen, of course, right? So we get we get 4,700 people that are unemployed, and another airline company that has to close down. So then afterwards, let's end up, of course, in good old Asia. In Asia, the World Bank is warning that we are going to have a slump in the growth in Southeast Asia. Well, of course, it's normal, right? So we have a combination of like a drop in tourism, we have a supply chain disruption, a drop in demand for textiles, and yeah, all revenues are going to be dropping. And according to this article, one of the biggest countries that are going to have the biggest issue is actually Maldives. Because their GDP, their gross domestic product, is most likely going to be collapsing, and it says that they will drop. Wait, let me scroll down a bit. They will lose 13% of their GDP. Well, that's a very big hit, of course. That's their whole complete country production. So yeah. And then, as you can see, India, the biggest economy in South Asia, could see growth of just 1.5%, down from a figure from around 5%. So yeah, they have advised that governments to ramp up the health emergency to protect their people and to set stage for a fast economic recovery. But yeah, as you know, the World Bank is trying to give out, as I've went through over the first article, to give loans and financial support to the next 15 months for vulnerable countries to help out this situation. But as you can see, all of this news that you're seeing right now, and definitely in terms of the economy, is not positive at all. And I do, even though, as you can see, like the investment market, the stock markets, they are going up, but it will have their effects later on, right? So what I wanted to show you guys is the following, right? So let's jump into the S&P, because that's what we are very, very, very focused at for as in the world economy. So what I'm looking forward for is this is the S&P chart, and this is actually the most important one. So the yellow line on the monthly chart is actually the most important line. Like if we close below this month, below that EMA 21, I really am pretty much convinced that we are going to see a retest of the previous lows. So I'm talking about here around somewhere, from the EMA 100 to the low, the previous low. It doesn't mean that we are going to create a lower low. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm pretty convinced that we will be retesting the low once again. Definitely, if this month we are closing below the EMA 21 on the monthly, but if we close above the EMA 21 on the monthly, then things are looking good for more continuation towards the upside. So that's basically what I'm looking at. But as I've been telling you guys, we have a rising wedge pattern, and we've gone through that for a really long time, many times already. As you can see, we have a rising wedge pattern, and do we still have some push up towards? Yes, there's still some space to even go all the way up to the 200 moving average, which is at 3,000 even. So if it's still a possibility that we can go one leg up higher and even touch that 200 moving average. I don't think that we will get that far. I do think that we might have another chance to go up, because on Friday we actually had a really good close, and it was a very bullish candle, as you can see, and we closed above the EMA 55, which was a very, very good close on Monday. But sadly enough, today we started off with a retracement, but this is not really a death sentence as long as we keep our price below, higher than the previous low here on this candle. I would say around the 2,775. As long as we keep prices above there, things are fine, and we'll most likely be able to push up one leg higher. But the thing that I've been explaining to you guys is that when price is during this whole this period, the price went up, but the volume of, as you can see, the volume went down, and that means that we have a very weak push, and that's what I'm afraid of. I do think that the probabilities are very, very high. And once this structure or this pattern breaks, we will be retesting. Of course, we're not gonna drop down dead immediately, but we'll most likely get a retracement back to around here, the 2000 here, around here, the 2,625 level, make a small bounce, and then continue back down towards most likely around. Yeah, then I would say around here, the 2,500 region. But that's for in the future. As long as the structure hasn't broken yet, then nothing is going on, right? So one of the leading indicators is the Nasdaq. So I'm paying a lot of attention to that one as well. As you can see, the Nasdaq maybe go back to the daily close. The daily close was pretty toppy on Friday, although yeah, this is quite toppy on Friday, but nothing is really broken just yet on this structure, because we did make a pretty high solid move upwards. So as long as we hold and don't make a lower low below the 8,575, I think things are still fine. Then we still possibly can have a continuation upside. Okay, so that's for Nasdaq. Let's go into Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin, yay. So this is what happened during the weekend. So how are we going to analyze this? As you can see, during the weekend, the weekly close, although we had this shooting star candle, I expected this candle to be not as good, but we did manage to push up a little bit higher. But once again, as you can see here, once again we are getting rejected by this blue line that has been a pain in the ass for us for the whole time. Basically, as you can see here, we touch it here. I mean, we basically tested it here, tested it here, tested it here, broke it here, but then got rejected downwards. So we can clearly see that EMA 100 has been a pain in the ass. And for now, as you can see also, this week we got rejected once again. So although this is a pretty bullish weekly close, that doesn't really change the momentum, right? The momentum it's really there, you know, like it's just basically like, okay, yeah, we can still maybe go up a little bit higher, but that's basically it, right? That's basically it. But we're very, very near that period. So I'm still pretty neutral for the upcoming few days. I'm still looking a little bit, but I'm still pretty comfortable to say that we'll most likely, I think this week is going to be the week that the bears are going to step in and just put the price back down to where the pain is going to happen, right? So here, so what I've been telling you guys yesterday is, because we broke out of this falling wedge, this is the measured move. So as long as we don't break this green box here, as long as the price don't break this green box here, our measured move is all the way up to around 7.7 to 7.8k. First stop would be 7.6, as long as the green box holds and the EMA 21. And as you can see here, we went outside of that wedge and fell back down inside the wedge, but we are still holding above this EMA 21 on the daily. But as you can see, it is looking very, very weak right now. So all eyes on this, but I still do believe that most likely we will try to regain this EMA 100 first, so around 7,567. But of course, if we keep retesting this green box here, then then things will not look good. But another thing that I have to say is that the longer the bulls are waiting, the more pressure we will get from the bears, right? Because there is so much resistance right now from the moving averages from the top, because the longer you wait, the biggest highest moving averages keep pushing down. So I really do believe that if the bulls are going to push, we should be looking at, you know, somewhere in the next couple of days. Basically, in the next couple of days, we should be seeing the bulls make a move and push the price back up, but it's not sure yet. So the probabilities are still, for me, as weird as it sounds, because we have broken out of that wedge, that we are going to the upside. But if we go to the upside, yes or no, for me in the long and the macro perspective, that doesn't matter, because I am still biased, and I've been saying that for a pretty long time now. I am still biased. This is of course my ultimate short position, but if I see that we are going to break below this green box here and close a few candles below that price, and we get confirmation that the price is below that green box, I'll definitely jump into a short, and I'm pretty confident that it will most likely go back down to the 6.4k range, right? So that's basically what I'm waiting for, one of those confirmations where I see like, okay, this is most likely going to head up, and then I'll take my short position. I'll start laddering my shorting positions here, and if I see that it breaks down this green box and close some candle around here, see weakness in the market, definitely short it over there to gain this momentum down here. But for now, I'm still leaning towards a push up because of the weekly candle close. Like I've shown you guys, the weekly candle close is still a bullish weekly candle close. And then on the 2-day chart, what we can see is the following. On the 2-day chart, we can also see that the 2-day chart closed above the 2-day, the yellow line, or the EMA 21. So for me, there is still, let's say, a higher probability that we are heading towards this zone here where there is a lot of confluence. As you can see, we have the EMA 55 and the EMA 200 there, where we had our bearish cross here, as you can see. And also, as you can see here, if we make a retracement, a bearish retracement from the top to this point here of the 4.4k, I didn't take the retracement on the full down here until 3.8k. The reason for that is that I do believe that this push was a little bit exaggerated because of a lot of because first of all, BitMEX that got hacked, not hacked, it crashed, and so a lot of positions were liquidated that were leveraged, and I think it was a little bit too exaggerated. So I believe that this point here where my support line hits is more realistic, and that then also matches the, as you can see very clearly, that matches my area of shorting here. See, it matches perfectly that orange and that blue line as well. So yeah, that'll be for me. I still do think in the Monday, when we're Monday today. So yeah, if tomorrow by Wednesday, let's say by Wednesday, I don't see a lot of strength, I think it's over for the bulls, and most likely price is going to be pushed down more rather than upwards. But right now, I still feel a little bit positive that we haven't gotten to that drop just yet. But I do believe that this week is going to be very crucial. So on this chart, I've also analyzed a little bit more for the macro trend. As you can see, this is what I'm currently seeing. This is like a big triangle that we are forming on the macro. This is this is a weekly chart. So on the macro, as you can see, so if we get rejected there, as you can see, if we get rejected there on that spot here, we can easily drop back down to around here, which will make sense. That's 4.8k, and I've told to you guys already about that. But just below 5k, I do think there's a big possibility for that, and then we would just make back up once again, like some rally, and then back down. And then the question is, by the end of this year, do we make a break of this pattern? Because by the end of this year, as you can see, this triangle is going to be resolved, right? We're heading towards the apex by the end of this year. So end of the years have most of the times, the last couple of years, the last year has not been the best years, right? Like if you look here, November 2018, not the best. But of course, in 2017, we hit our top here, but then again we dropped substantially as well. So yeah, I I'm still unsure what will happen by the end of this year. I do think that we will most likely have some economic crisis, and then it's basically let's see if Bitcoin is going to decouple from the normal fiat and the normal economy. Let's put it like that. So that's basically in the long run what I am currently looking at. But there's also a probability, of course, that we from here this point and we break immediately down the support line, right? So we don't know how when this triangle is going to be resolved. Something cool that I wanted to show you guys is this. If you take the measured move, oh sorry, if you take, maybe I'll just do the price percentage. If you take the measured move from this point to this point, which is around, if you can see here, this is a descending triangle, right? So if you make that measured move and you make a measured move from this point here, around here, to this point here, you can see that the measured move is around, wait, I made it too far, around here, and then from this point here around until here. Yeah, how come? No, it's a bit too far also. 1 second. Oh, it's because I have this magnet. Okay, 1 second. Annoying. So from this point here, a little bit lower because we touch around here, and then from this point here, we touch around here. Up here, this one a little bit higher. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so yeah, as you can see here, the measured move is approximately the same as well. So this descending triangle is basically what I wanted to say, is basically what happened during this crash. So for me, this descending triangle is resolved. So once this descending triangle is resolved, as you can see here, now we are basically retesting that previous support of this descending triangle. So although I do see that we are hovering around this critical pivot line here, this is actually a very critical pivot line. As you can see here, price has always been moving here, and from here, this point, we actually made that big crash. And over here also, once we broke up from the previous support line, we created a higher point there. So for now, this is the macro that I'm seeing for Bitcoin. I think there is a very high probability for me personally that we will get rejected from this point. But if we don't get rejected from this point, then of course there is a chance that we move up higher towards this resistance here, and who knows, we could break it also, right? It's a triangle, so who knows. But for now, for me, I don't think this is very likely to happen because of the correlation between Bitcoin and the S&P. So as long as the S&P is breaking us right now, so Bitcoin is going down, of course, as well. Yeah, this is yep. Let's see. Oh, here on this is the CME chart. I just wanted to take a look. And the CME chart is back into the falling wedge. Maybe you see it on the real-time chart. 1 second. Yeah, here. This is the real-time chart. And yeah, we can see that we had a bullish engulfing candle, and then it got immediately rejected. That's a very interesting thing. And it's nearing it's nearing my my green box here, so maybe I'll have to enter into some shorting positions. Let's see. So that's what you get when you are doing live. You have to trade and meanwhile also take a look at the charts. But it seems like we are still going to have a bounce most likely, so I cannot do anything just yet. But if this candle here closes, ooh, that's very bearish. Let's take a look at the expected moves chart. Okay, expected moves is here. It's actually still trending down. The top standard deviation is 7,042 and the bottom first standard deviation is 6,800. That would mean that it would be break, if it keeps going down, it would break my green box, right? So this is what I'm looking for. So over the next 12 hours, we'll actually know if I have to do something or not. But for now, we are still above the green box, so we are still in safe territory. Let's put it like that. So nothing has to be done right now, and let's see in the next couple of hours if we manage to make some sort of recovery bounce. But most likely, it looks like most likely we will. Let's see at our indicators. Our RSI is on the 4 hour is here. Yeah, doesn't look that bad. Okay, yeah, HVP is contracting again. Stocks are still down, and it broke the previous support line, as you can see here. Broke it completely. So most likely we will see something like this being formed. So yeah, I think we're fine. Just looking at things, it's starting to curl. Yeah, HVP is quite high again, 58. So let's see, RSI. Yeah. I think we're still okay for now, but yeah, if we start closing some candles, it's starting to flatten out here. If we start closing some candles below it, that's not going to be good. You can see here the RSI is crushing down. 12-hour stocks are curling down. That's a very bad sign. Yeah, that's a very bad sign when the stocks are curling down, and we just had the 12-hour candle close. Daily is also curling down right now. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Yeah, this looks temporarily not very good. Okay. Oh, actually, the hash ribbons here are getting closer to each other, so that's actually interesting to see. But yeah, I still think that looking at everything real time, I don't think we're going to break just yet. So yeah, we're having a bounce right now, a nice bounce actually. So yeah, I think we're okay. So we bounced once again into the green box, and outside of the green box, things are still okay. But yeah, back to my macro trend. I'm still, so yeah, for me, I'm still waiting for the price to either hit this zone here and then eventually into my green box, or if we break that zone, most likely back to our 6.4K before I will do something. Right now, yeah, I'm not interested in doing anything, just waiting it out. And that's the whole thing about trading, right? A lot of people don't have the patience, or a lot of people just overtrade and just get stuck in the middle, or try to be a hero and long in a downtrend. I'm only, like I said, like 80% or 90% actually of my positions will be shorting positions, waiting for the right shorting timing. I will only use like 10 or 20% of my positions into a long right now, because the trend is your friend, and the trend is down. We keep making a lot of people are not looking at the chart properly, right? We keep making lower highs, right? As long as we this is a lower high, this is a lower high, this is a lower high, this is not a higher high. So the trend is downwards, not going up. So overall, keep that in mind, and before you enter any longs, think about that before, or else you'll get liquidated very, very, very quickly. Okay, so next subject. What I want to say is like gold. Actually, gold has been retracing quite hard the past couple of days, but overall I'm still quite bullish on gold. Like I've told you guys, I do think that gold is currently the real hedge in the market. And yeah, like if you look at the RSI, look at this. Oh my God, it's yeah, it looks very, very constructive and very healthy. We still have space to go upwards, so I think there won't be any issues with gold. Anyway, something that is going to be very interesting will be the opening of this New York Stock Exchange in around 30 minutes, right? Ooh, Nasdaq is curling down here. If this RSI starts to close below the EMA, that's going to be very interesting as well. CME futures currently is at, let's see, currently at 6,975, and our spot price is 6,950. So yeah, it's around $25 difference only, premium only. It's normal that we always have a premium on CME charts because they take some costs for people that are, you know, trading the CME futures. So let's go back to some theory or some analysis or some thoughts. As you know, the pre-market started for the S&P, by the way, and as you can see here, pre-market is right now at 281. That's a 1.62% drop, although we have a very good close here. So it seems that the market is also slowing down on the daily, but like I said, it doesn't really change the macro perspective as long as we don't break any structures, right? As long as we don't break this pattern, there's nothing much we can say. It can slowly go back up again. It's similar to Bitcoin. But this is what I wanted to analyze as well. So everybody has been talking about this, right? Everybody is talking about, guys, look, this is a super strong recovery. We crashed. Things are going to be much better very, very soon. You should be investing because, yeah, look, there's so much upside to be investing now. Now is the time. Now is not the time to be taking it safe. You should be investing. So I was reading up on some articles, and look at this. Bank of America is showing the highest cash positions since 9/11 attacks. So that means that professional investors have taken their highest cash positions since September 11 attacks. That's what the Bank of America Global Fund Managers are saying. That means that while everybody is saying, look, you should be investing, it's cheap, buy the dip, buy this and that, professional investors are in cash right now. As you can see, they are on the sideline and they are in cash. What does that tell you? Like, for me, that tells me that they are waiting for prices to go down more before they can buy it up with their cash. So while it seems like everybody is like buoyed by this, this uptrend here, I keep saying, like, this structure is going to break at one point and it's not going to be pretty. I don't mean that we will be seeing, I mean, it's possible that we won't get to that, we won't get a lower or anything like that, but back to like I would assume 235-ish level is, I would consider that a success, to be honest, right now, if that would be the case, if that was going to happen. But let's see what happens. But the whole point is, like, everybody is buoyed by this this price recovery, everybody is telling you like, yeah, you should be buying the dip, you should be buying this, you should do that. But professional investors are in cash. They are liquid. That means that they are preparing to buy, not buying at this moment, right? So I see a lot of that's what I'm seeing like and those like before Gilead, that article was saying like, okay, well, hedge fund managers are selling it and they're posting out the media, and the retail investors are buying it up because they're thinking like, oh, we found the cure, blah blah blah, and then professional hedge fund managers selling on top of the people. Similar, as you can see here, Bank of America is showing that professional investors are on the sideline and their balance, their cash balance, has been increasing and it has never been as high. What does that tell you? That means for me that professional hedge funds managers are just saying like, okay, this is definitely going to go down more and I should have a lot of cash to be ready to pound, to be ready to buy. So is this now the right time to be buying? I don't think so, right? So that's what these articles are telling me. So let's talk about Warren Buffett. As you know, Warren Buffett is an investing legend, and he has a whole long-term, usually he has a very long-term holding mindset, but he has been selling. He has been selling millions and millions and millions of stocks, selling. So we can see it here. The his Hathaway, his Berkshire Hathaway fund has been selling. So what has he sold so far? He sold 13 millions of Delta Air, so airline company. So that's 314 million in cash. 2.3 million shares of Southwest Airlines, that's 74 million. And then 860,000 shares of Bank of New York, and that's 30 million. So those sales are huge, right? Those sales are huge. So he's been selling. What does that mean? Like, he's probably selling because he thinks that it will go down harder, right? Or else you wouldn't be selling. So when I see all these people that are on the professional side telling the media or telling stories like, hey, you should be investing or you should be buying now, it's so cheap, we went down 30%, I really think it's just to get the retail investors to be coming in and buying and holding the hot potato so they can sell. So these guys that are holding the price can sell. That's what it seems to me, the situation. And like I said, I don't really care about fundamental news and all this media and this and that. For me, it's all about technical analysis, and you can clearly see what I've been saying the past couple of weeks now, is that this pump doesn't seem to me like a very strong pump. And I really am pretty confident that we will be retesting the lows by most likely already by next month, because I the similar to like the S&P, I will only change my mind if this monthly EMA 21, the EMA 21 here gets closed above the yellow line, right? So the yellow line is here at 7,282 right now because the price went a little bit down. So if the monthly, and we still have 10 days, right? 10 days is an eternity in Bitcoin land. So we still have 10 days. If we close above that yellow line, then most likely I will actually be turning bullish. So I do think then they will have continuation. Do I really think that we are going to be closing above that yellow line? I don't think so. And similar to the S&P, to be honest, I think this month is going to show us on a macro level that continuation of the downtrend is going to be happening. And that's basically talking about pure technicals right now. And I do think that this monthly EMA 55 right now looks for me at least for next month, the goal. And as you can see here, the EMA 55 right now here is 4,768. 4,768, which also coincides with the area that I've been talking about before, and that's the bottom of our triangle, as you can see here on this chart here. So if we do something like this, let's say let's give it the benefit of the doubt and give it a little kiss, and then it moves down here by next month. As you can see here, price is around 4,800, right? So yeah, it's just too many things are lining up. So can it be that simple? It could be, but the market will always do what the market wants to do, right? So you can't, as a trader, you can't, like, you know, put in your mind like, yes, it's definitely going to be that way, and that's when you go wrecked, when you get wrecked as well. So there's always a chance that something different than what you think is going to happen, and it's for you to be adjusting accordingly. That's why you have to look at this on, if depends on how long, on which frequency you're trading. Of course, if you're a day trader, then obviously you have to check it every day. If you are just an investor, then you try to just invest on what you think is a nice point of entry. And for now, if I was an investor, I don't think this is a nice point of entry. As a trader, yeah, I mean, you can long this for a little while, because I do think that, you know, we still have some momentum going, but yeah, for how long? I don't think it's going to be weeks and weeks on. So, but yeah, let's see what is going to happen. So what did I want to tell more is, oh yeah, here I got this article, another article here from today. The Investor Business Daily is basically just, it's just so amazing. Look at this, what they're saying. Caution was essential during the coronavirus market crash, and while the bear market bottomed on March 20, there was no reason to be confident in the new coronavirus stock market rally. There are reasons to be cautious after bear market. The initial confirmed uptrend or two often fail. The corona news remains uneven. Excessive caution can be risky. Blah, blah, blah. If you wait until the stock market rally hits all-time high, that's priced in a lot. So, and then they're saying, why not wait until the stocks are all-time high? Blah 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 blah. So they are basically advising people to be buying stocks in beaten down sectors, because Amazon stock and Netflix stock are already high, 14% up. But others like Nvidia and Microsoft stocks are actionable now. There are several other top stocks approaching their buy points. So basically they're saying, like, yeah, it's still a good time to be buying. You should be thinking about buying right now. So yeah, I mean, once again, that's like, you know, those are the kind of articles that I've been seeing quite often now towards the retail, where they're putting out media. Yeah, guys, it's still very cheap right now, should be buying. But once again, I just trade on the technicals, and this is what the technicals are showing me. It's showing me that there is a rising wedge right now, and at one point, maybe not now, maybe not tomorrow, but in the next coming month or something like that, there is going to be a crash, like a big crash once again. That's what the highest probabilities are, and definitely, like I said, with the volume tailing down. So yeah, what are we looking at? Waiting. This is going to be a waiting game. Waiting until we hit this green box here. If we get that high, I still think that we have probabilities to go up more than down, but it has to happen today, tomorrow, or else it's going to be too late. And I think the bears are going to be stepping in. As you can see, HP horizontal volatility profile is still tailing down, and once it's going to hit below the single digits, then we will have that big move once again. I don't know if it's going to be up or down, but we're gonna have big volatility once again. But once again, everything is trending downwards. So I don't see anything different that I can say. It's just patiently waiting for the right moment to be shorting for me, and not taking too many risks, and definitely not trying to be a hero and longing. So let me check this quickly on the monthly. On the weekly. Yeah, weekly is still curling up right now on the Stokes. Let's see this on the RSI. RSI is now curling below it looks like it's getting rejected from this spot here from the EMA. So that's that's definitely not a good sign. So if we keep getting rejected below, I think this week is going to be the week of reckoning, and we will most likely be going down. Yeah, but for now, in the short term, I don't think it's anything dangerous right now just yet. Let me see on the 4-hour chart. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, we just hit you can see here the VWAP ratio, the very liquid zone here. We're still hovering on the 4-hour above the Ichimoku cloud. Yeah, things are still fine. Strangely enough, right? We dropped how much did we drop? It's from 7,200 to 6,950. So we dropped $250. Oh no, a little bit more even. We dropped all the way here to 6,888. So we dropped $300, and I'm still saying that things are still fine. That sounds a bit not logical, but it seems like we have our support, and we gonna make that curl back up. And I stick to my perception. I still do think that we are going to go still making a move upwards rather than downwards for now. Let's see if the Chinese traders are agreeing with me. So let's refresh that. So right now the positions is shorts only 50.8 and long 49.2%. So short positions are actually very, 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 like, it dropped substantially actually. And then the current top trader positions, the long are 53.11 and shorts are 46.89. That's very, very interesting, right? Very, very interesting. So let's maybe take a quick look also at the open interest charts. That'd be interesting. Let's go first to BitMEX. So BitMEX, what are you saying? Maybe go into a 1-hour chart to see. So while price dumped down here, open interest dumped down as well. So I think that's a lot of longs that are closing. That's nothing that special. Let's take a look at OKX. OKX has been very funny, as you can see. It's so crazy. Price went up and look at open interest skyrocketing. And I think that that they are actually longing this, the Chinese. Yeah, this looks like, this looks like they're longing. So I'll follow the Chinese. And I'll stick to my prediction. I do think that we are going to see a push upwards towards this, most likely towards this zone here. Crazy enough, but yeah, that's what Bitcoin is. Towards the 7.5k ish range by tomorrow, or yeah, most likely by tomorrow. Bulls don't have much time anymore, so I think by tomorrow maybe a last squeeze all the way to the top. Wait, I just want to see how much got liquidated as well. On the cryptometer chart. Very slow. Sorry about that, guys. But that's it. That's the life. Have to be patient sometimes. Oh, here it is. So let's look at the liquidation first. I want to see how many longs that got. Ooh, wow. So 55 million 55 million got liquidated in that move, the $300 move. And then let's look at the trend. I think the trend will be a little bit bearish, right? Yes, trend is nearing the bearish zone because they're higher selling pressure. But yeah, let's see. So this looks still, for me, holding the pattern. Still not game over. I still do think by tomorrow we get this crazy pump towards the 7.5k ish, and then we shall re-evaluate tomorrow. But by now, still nothing. I mean, at least for me, still nothing to do. Still just observing and still waiting for that perfect moment, then to capture that moment and make some money. But yeah, right now I don't want to be stuck in a long. That's one, because this can easily, if this is a perfect example, right? Some people was thinking like, well, if you think that it's going to 7.5k, why are you not longing? That's not how I'm thinking. Like, you have to be thinking like, okay, there is the probability is higher that it's gonna go up, but what if it immediately crashes down? Then you're stuck in your long, while your main plan was to be shorting if there was any closes below that line. So you're missing your shorting position, because what you're going to do is you're going to be like, oh no, I'm not gonna stop my long, it's going to be bouncing, and then you're not going to stop your long, and then you're going to be stuck in your long, blah blah blah, and so on. It's like, so that's the whole reason. Go with the trend and just stick with the master plan. The master plan was very, very easy. We have two green boxes. The top green box would be a perfect short position for me. Ladder around somewhere from this area to this area. Ladder there. I'm definitely gonna ladder if we get the price gets up there. We break this this green box here. Close some candles below that green box. Definitely enter. Just what price does is it's gonna drop down, break that box, go back up a little bit. A fake dead cat bounce, and then you short from there, and then get the momentum down to 6.4k. That was the master plan. I'm not going to be moving away from that master plan because I am impatient, because I have nothing else to do. Just chill. Just chill. Don't overtrade. Don't put yourself into stressful scenarios. Just wait a little bit and chill. So yeah, I guess that's it for today. We went through a lot, I think, today. So let's take a break and see how things go tomorrow. So until tomorrow, I hope, well, if you like this type of content, please subscribe, join in, share with your friends, tell your friends about it if you're interested in technical analysis and in Bitcoin overall and investment, because I think we will have important and interesting times in the very near future, because like I said, this coronavirus is going to be affecting a lot of people's life. Oh, and Hearns Puma is an avid fan. Thumbs up to Hearns Puma. Thank you. I'm actually doing this more like for a lot of people who don't know why I'm doing this on a daily basis. I'm actually doing this more for myself than for anybody else. It's because this is my work, this is my job. So I've been doing this for, I don't know, like 6 years now. A lot of people think that it's just guessing and this and that, but yeah, I've been doing this for a really long time already, and I wanted to document a little bit more the process for people that are interested in trading and stocks and this and that, and also for people who want to, like, you know learn a little bit more about how in depth things can be, because I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of stuff that I'm showing that people don't even understand what I'm doing or seeing. But if you don't, that's why the internet is such a great thing. You can just Google it, you can just learn about it, you can just type in some theories, because I've been talking about corrections, market conditions, Wyckoff theories, Elliott wave theories, Fibonacci's, all of those things. I understand it can be overwhelming, but like with everything, if you put effort into it, then you'll learn something. And if you don't, at least you've tried, and then you can't be disappointed about yourself, because as long as you do your best, that's all that you can ask from somebody, right? But for now, so be careful. I still think this is not going to be dropping. I still think this is a long position, because we touched exactly the green box and we have not closed any candles. Listen, candle closes is the most important thing, right? A lot of people are looking at the wick. Oh, it touched or it broke the box. No, it doesn't work like that. Look at the candle closes, please. Candle closes. Look at the candle closes. And I still think that we will have a touch up to the upside tomorrow or by Wednesday in the very near future, right? If we don't get there, bears are going to be attacking because they will be impatient with doing nothing, and then it will get pushed down very, very, very quickly. But very, very interesting times this week. Definitely, if you are a Bitcoin fan, definitely be on your on your tippy toes because this monthly close is going to be changing the macro perspective. Like I said, we close above 7.3k, then I'm turning bullish. Now I'm a bear, I'll be turning a bullish by the end of the month if we close above the 7.3k. Right? So that's the thing about the trader. Don't get your mindset or don't get stuck in some position. Always also remember, bulls make money, bears make money, and who gets fucked over? Yes, all the other people. So be either a bull or be either a bear, or else you'll be fucked over. Okay? So tomorrow 7:30 p.m. as always, UTC +8, YouTube and Facebook. And until tomorrow, stay home, stay safe, and of course, stay COVID free.